This episode is made possible by the support we get from Fort Collins Kia. If you are in the market for any electric Kia, not only do they never add market adjustments, they will deliver your car to you anywhere in the 48 contiguous states for out-of-spec viewers. More information in the link in the show notes. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to the Out of Spec podcast. I'm your host, Francie. Thank you for plugging in with me today. I hope I find you at a good time. I want to talk about a bit of personal news before we get into today's stories of the change in price for the Tesla Model Y. As many of you know who have been, consistently plugging into the Out of Spec podcast, thank you for one. And also, you know that I am lucky enough to have a company car, a company lease for a VinFast VF8 Eco. And I decided that I love it so much that I am going to fully move into the car for the summer. I am going to be living with my dog out of the VinFast. So expect to see a lot of remote podcasts. Man, this is going to be fun and cramped and tough, but it'll be a blast. April Fools. Sorry, y'all. I had to do it. And that was the best I could come up with. It is April 1st, which means I get my one annual chance to try to trick y'all on here on the podcast, because otherwise I'm just giving it to you straight. Though I do really hope that I can do a lot of road tripping and car camping with the VF8 this summer. So please stay tuned for that. And also we'll have a lot of summer adventures that I hope you stay tuned for. Maybe even a motorcycle course thrown in there that I did. I did another course last April, and that was really fun. So I'd love to bring another one in this summer, and I'm sure I'll have plenty of fun updates. I really love to engage in all the summer, spring, fall adventures. So stay tuned. Also, it being April 1st, 2024 means that Tesla has changed the price of the Model Y. Let's get into it. So there is a price increase, actually, which is not typical of what we've seen from Tesla headlines in recent history. On March 17th, Tesla added a note in the Model Y design page. Prices will increase by $1,000 for all Model Y trims on April 1st. They also offered an additional offer. So they said, take delivery of a new Model Y by March 31st and receive 5,000 free supercharging miles for cash or finance purchases. And trade in a vehicle and receive 5,000 miles when you order by March 19th and take delivery by March 31st, yesterday. So it seems like an end of quarter incentive push to get out more orders. This is typical of many companies, but Tesla has definitely been doing these at the end of quarter pushes to get more vehicles sold, more people moving around Tesla inventory. And realistically, it's not that huge of a jump or offer. It's $1,000 and a few $100s worth of charging on a vehicle with an MSRP of about $44,000 or $36,500 with the federal incentive. And it's a nice offer, but it likely won't make or break anyone's purchase. This kind of price change is different from Tesla's other price jumps, most notably when the company has dramatically decreased the price of their EVs, seemingly at the drop of a hat from some perspectives. While this isn't the case here with a $1,000 increase in the Model Y, it does open up a little bit of a hole in the conversation for residual values that I want to touch on briefly. I was talking to Kyle about this too, and he had the stance that price changes, like what we saw with the deep decreases last year in the Model Ys, didn't have a widespread impact on the market or the automotive industry, which, from my perspective, most others tend to disagree with. So I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. From what I was finding through my research online, according to various automotive rankings and consumer reports, Tesla has been noted for both its strong brand value and its rapid depreciation compared to other electric vehicle brands. And don't come at me if you love Tesla. I'm just doing our research. So changes in pricing strategies can influence how not only consumers perceive the value of Tesla vehicles, potentially impacting their residual values, but also depreciation rates. Reports and analyses have pointed out that Teslas tend to depreciate faster than some other electric vehicles and traditional gasoline-powered cars. Pricing changes by Tesla can exacerbate this depreciation, particularly if they make older models seem less attractive compared to newer ones due to the pricing adjustments. For the market dynamics, the supply and demand dynamics in the used Tesla market can be influenced by pricing changes. Lowering prices for new Tesla vehicles can prompt existing owners to sell or trade in their current models to upgrade, which leads to an increased supply and potentially lower residual values for older models. Tesla's pricing decisions also can impact consumer confidence in the brand and its vehicles' long-term value retention, with frequent or significant price changes, which is, again, not what we're seeing today with the $1,000 price increase, but these might raise concerns among buyers about the stability of Tesla's pricing and the potential for rapid depreciation, which could affect residual values. And of course, we saw that really take a hit in the business models in the rental car industry. Kyle seems to think that that was not a result of this. So I'm interested in the discussion that we're going to have in the comments. Of course, changes in Tesla's pricing can also influence the pricing strategies of other electric vehicle manufacturers and dealerships too. Competitors may adjust their prices in response to Tesla's moves, which can impact the perceived value and residual values of Tesla EVs relative to other brands. I've spoken to some dealerships that say that they take this in mind. They don't want to just absolutely cut the pricing of certain EVs because they have other customers who have bought those EVs from them, and they don't want to significantly negatively impact them after making this important investment. So it's something to consider. Just, of course, like I said, I saw a little opportunity to dive into this topic with this headline. So I'm interested to see what you all think. So what about some price and range comparisons to the Model Y that you might be considering if, you're looking for something in this range with this use case? And so we're going to include not all the comparison EVs that exist out there. We're focusing on the ones that are more compelling, so maybe no Fisker, no VinFast, etc. But we are also not including the tax credit or incentives in these prices because sometimes they differ. So the Model Y currently, before today, as it will go up by $1,000 as reported by Tesla, for the rear wheel drive, we're seeing around $44,000. You get 260 miles EPA rated range. The long range is around $49,000 for 310 miles on the EPA rated range. The performance is coming in about $52,490 with 279 miles, and they all do qualify for the federal tax credit. That is definitely a plus. For the next ones, we are going to be comparing to Tesla, of course, and I'll just go through them. So let's start with the Hyundai Ioniq 5. So we decided to focus on just one EGMP vehicle, the Ioniq 5, but the EV6 is similar and very compelling too. So make sure to check that offering out from Kia. So the standard range of the Hyundai Ioniq 5 SE trim is about $42,000, which is better priced than the Tesla Model Y, but it has a lesser EPA rated range at 220 miles. It has a 77.4 kilowatt hour battery in just the SE trim, which comes in at $46,000, which is again better than the Tesla or similar offering, but 303 miles EPA rated range, which is less than. The Ioniq 5N comes in at $66,000, which is obviously more than the Tesla Model Y, and we don't have a range figure on that quite yet. And unfortunately, none of these qualify for the federal tax credit, although Hyundai is slapping on a $7,500 discount from the dealership, which we've seen other dealerships do as well. Listen, if you're not going to get it from the federal government, we'll take it off the price tag. The prices are a bit lower than Tesla's, as you can see, but you do get more range, and the Hyundai base trims don't have a lot of features compared to Tesla's offering. What about Volkswagen? The ID4, it has the standard trim that comes in at about $39,000, 209 mile EPA rated range. The Pro trim, the price and range are closer with the rear wheel drive, but this is at $44,000, 275 miles, which is a bit better a spec than the Model Y, and all qualify for the federal tax credit. So it's a good alternative to the Model Y rear-wheel drive, but the long range for the Model Y does offer a bit more at a cost. Chevy Blazer EV. I know we've heard a lot about this. Finally, we're going to be able to get our hands on it with confidence. They have fixed their software issues as far as we know. So the LT all-wheel drive trim is coming in around $50,000, just over $50,000 at 279 miles EPA rated range. Okay, those are both technically worse than Tesla. The RS rear-wheel drive is $62,000 at 320 miles. So the price is high, but the 320 miles, that is pretty good compared to the Model Y. And all of these qualify for the federal tax credit. So it's much more expensive than the Model Y and slightly more range. You do get the tax credit, and you could be supporting Chevy's kind of re-steps into the EV market. Who knows? The Ford Mustang Mach-E. This has been a fan favorite for a while. Of course, we've seen the early adopters continue to embrace it. Things have changed for Ford over time, but this has been a popular EV for a lot of people. So the Select trim comes in at around $40,000 MSRP with 250 miles. So the MSRP, not too bad compared to the Model Y, but 250 mile EPA rated range, we know from the Mach-E, it's not super great. And we know that the charging curve of this vehicle isn't also very, very amazing. For the California Route 1 trim, this comes in at $49,000, which is nice compared to the comparable Model Y, 312 miles EPA rated range. The GT comes in at 52,000 miles, $52,395, not miles. That would be amazing. And 270 miles EPA rated range. So the mileage, not as great, but the pricing is very comparable to the performance as well, coming in at around $25,000, $52,000. I'm really mixing this up. Okay. None of the Ford Mustang Mach-E's qualify for the federal tax credit right now. The California Route 1 is a good option if you're really prioritizing range, but it's not the most compelling offering out there, and the other trims really aren't as competitive when you hold it up to what else is out there. The overall comparisons that we're seeing is that the Tesla rear-wheel drive is a bit more expensive than other entry-level crossover EVs, but also offers a bit more range, and not to mention the Tesla supercharger network. The Tesla long range is competitive. It offers very good EPA range at a very solid price, and the Tesla performance is very, very compelling. It has a solid range, great performance, and at a competitive, if not really good price. We're excited about the Ioniq 5N, and it should be a really amazing car, but it is more than $13,000 more expensive than a Model Y performance before the federal tax credit. Okay, hope you have a great rest of your April 1st or whenever you listen to this podcast. And I look forward to catching you next time on the next episode. If you're enjoying the podcast, of course, let us know. Review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast. Subscribe, like the video, share it out with a friend that you think might enjoy our topics. And of course, if you think we should host an interesting person, whether it's an EV owner or someone somewhere in the EV space, from battery technologies to actually, the EVs. I mean, we've talked to people in dealerships. We've talked to a whole variety of people, from EV conversions to everyday people to experts and everything in between. So if you have an interesting guest idea or topic idea, of course, you can always email us at podcast@outofspecstudios.com. Thanks, y'all. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time on the next episode. Stay charged. Bye-bye.